After over 20 years of sharing her knowledge on how to live a balanced life while pursuing a spiritual path, Supreme Master Ching continues to dedicate her time and effort to uplift and enhance the life of all beings. In recent years, she has written and published 3 animal books, The Dogs in My Life, The Birds in My Life, and The Noble Wilds, to introduce humankind to the magical world of animals. Supreme Master Ching shared that the books she wrote are works of love. Motivated by her unconditional love and overflowing compassion for our planet and all of its inhabitants, Supreme Master Ching continues to selflessly accept invitations to share her insights and wisdom on a kinder, nobler, and more loving way of life at gatherings with our association members, symposiums, radio interviews, or via video conference and the like. We now invite you to enjoy the video conference with Supreme Master Ching at the premiere of the German and French edition of The Noble Wilds and the Polish edition of The Dogs in My Life at the 61st Frankfurt Book Fair in Germany on October 18th, 2009.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
It is a great honor for us to be here with you and our global viewers today for this unique catalyzing global event. First and foremost, we would like to extend our special thanks to Supreme Master Ching for the opportunity we now have to enjoy the international bestseller The Noble Wilds in German and French. We are also here to celebrate the premiere of the Polish version of the bestseller The Dogs in My Life.
We extend our appreciation to our invited guests for attending today's seminar. And we also welcome our worldwide viewers on Supreme Master Television, on which this significant event is broadcasting live today on 6 continents, 14 satellites, 26 cable TV and IPTV networks, and 18 streaming video websites. Supreme Master Television is a free-to-air satellite channel broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with a variety of engaging programs in English, with over 30 subtitles and 60 languages.
Today's guest of honor is Supreme Master Ching who will participate via live video conference. A Goosey Peace Prize laureate, world-renowned humanitarian, pioneer in constructive global satellite television, artist and spiritual teacher, she is also the author of 3 international best-selling books, The Dogs in My Life, The Birds in My Life, and The Noble Wilds.
Ever a champion of the rights of all beings to live in peace and harmony, her campaigns to promote a healthy vegan lifestyle and to stop the effects of climate change have mobilized countless people to act for the greater good of all life. As part of this effort to spread love to all beings, Supreme Master Ching has succeeded in her new role as best-selling author of books featuring animals. All of her books have reached international bestseller lists, not only the English editions, but also in French, Chinese, Korean, Olaxese, Japanese, and Spanish. And there are many versions that have been translated and will be released in the future, like Dutch, Swedish, Arabic, Telugu, Portuguese, Philippine. Wow, isn't that amazing?
It truly is. Master Ching first 2 books, The Dogs in My Life and The Birds in My Life, portray an engaging and illuminating account of life with her adopted animals and birds. Her 3rd bestseller, The Noble Wilds, illustrates Supreme Master Ching extraordinary experience with her animal friends who live in the wild. The books, with beautifully illustrated pages, reveal the loving communication among animals and between animals and their human caregivers. They unveil the wondrous inner world of animals in order that we may enter. They bring to light the deep emotions, purpose of being, and blessing energy of our animal friends.
The breathtaking books of Supreme Master Ching reveals and reminds us of the simple secret we always knew deep down in our heart, that the love of animals for humans and for other animals stirs affection, love and joy in all of our hearts. The kind of unconditional love that animals brings into our lives is one of the most appreciable aspirations for the future of this planet and its inhabitants. We now would like to show you a short video clip of Supreme Master Ching together with some of her animal friends whom she encountered in the wild. Please enjoy.
The Noble Wilds is a universal favorite across cultures. Supreme Master Ching The Noble Wilds has ranked as an international #1 bestseller at the world's largest online bookstore, Amazon.com. First released in February in Formosa or Taiwan, the Chinese version of The Noble Wilds was instantly ranked as #1 bestseller, continuing the tremendous popularity of Supreme Master Ching first two books, The Birds in My Life and The Dogs in My Life.
Being around the wild expands our heart and leading us to a beautiful meadows of life that was totally untouched by prejudice and blame. We will just be there in the now, merging with nature, unspoiled and uncomplicated. Ever so grateful for the knowledge of the unknown, delighted in the indulgence of Mother Nature's love.
In 450 pages, filled with vibrant photographs, and all printed in environmentally friendly ink, Supreme Master Ching shares the most touching stories and reveals some of the secrets of God's creatures for the very first time. Following are a selection of enthusiastic comments for the Noble Wilds from readers around the world. Vivian in Germany shares her response.
We humans proclaim to be the crown of the creation, the most civilized being. But look at these noble souls in animal forms. We should learn from them, love them, respect them with our honor. Thanks God that they are here.
This book for me is like God's gift,
Writes Sue Love, a reader from Formosa or Taiwan. A reader named C.R. Tumanaro expressed,
The book is truly heart-melting. The photos are romantic, which conveys the deep love that the wilds have. The actions are something that we do not get to witness often, and when paired with beautiful poetry, it definitely shows true tenderness. A healing and redemptive book that's full of love.
From Emmanuel in Paris, France.
I could feel such a very surprising and delicate and unknown joy, like a deep truth being shared with others, absolute heartwarming, not just about animals, but about ourselves, humans too.
A university professor in the US reads and ponders.
The Noble Wilds, written and photographed by Supreme Master Ching exemplifies an alternative, compassionate way of living. During an age of the ever-increasingly growing environmental crisis, one cannot help asking why humans have not been able to live in peace, love, harmony with these wonderful beings.
It is so interesting to record the life of the swan family. Especially we learn that the swans have their own names, just like we do. So animals are just like us.
Writes Shutan, a reader from Formosa or Taiwan. From South Africa, another reader writes,
After reading The Noble Wilds, I can truly see how incredible God is in His purpose of sending us such wonderful animals to inspire us, to treat one another with love and dignity.
The book shares with readers insights into the natural world, such as the dedicated parenthood of wild ducks and swans, the friendship of a neighbor horse, and the deep love of creatures large and small who place their trust in the lady. Now through the noble wilds, their love is transformed into a single purpose, to expand humans' understanding and care for all life and Mother Nature.
A fairy tale that unveiled itself to let us know that life is the same to human and animals, insects and trees and minerals alike. Because life embraces all with love and nurturing, and that we all can communicate and understand each other. Thus, we understand ourselves in a deeper level of consciousness.
Ladies and gentlemen, and viewers of Supreme Master Television around the world, we are delighted to announce that our honored guest is with us right now. Supreme Master Ching Hai, we are privileged that you could join us today via live video conference here at the world's biggest international book fair in Frankfurt, Germany.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big welcome to Supreme Master Ching Hai.
Wow. Hello. Hi there, the beautiful people.
Supreme Master Ching Hai, we want to inform you of some great news. We are pleased to tell you that the German version of your book, The Noble Wilds, has reached #1 ranking in sales at Amazon.de in the category of children and youngsters in all German books.
Wow!
Congratulations!
Thank you. Thank you, all of you. Thank you, all of you, and the publisher and the distributors and the printers and all the people involved to make this a wonderful Sunday news. Yes. I congratulate myself also, and especially because I see you so clear, like you're sitting next to me. Isn't that wonderful technology nowadays? Yes, we are just so lucky. We're so lucky to have all this. Yeah, thanks for coming. Guten Tag. Guten Tag.
Guten Tag.
Es geht gut, ja?
Supreme Master, we appreciate your kindness and willingness to join us today at the release of the German and French version of your book, The Noble Wilds, and the Polish version of The Dogs in My Life.
Supreme Master, to congratulate you on the launch of the German version of The Noble Wilds, two distinguished German artists, a movie director, Mr. Helmut Nitschke, and actress Mrs. Heidemarie Wenzel, sent their greetings from the capital city, Berlin, with this short video called Impressions about the Noble Wilds.
Wow. Thank you.
Berlin bietet immer Überraschungen. Zum Beispiel diesen kleinen Park. Zum Beispiel, wie rasch die Schwanenkinder wachsen, die ich kenne, seit sie geschlüpft sind. Eine weitere Überraschung kommt noch. Doch erst einmal sind meine kleinen Schwänchen an der Reihe.
Look at that.
Fein, ganz gleich kommen, du kriegst das so. Und der Papa. Gucke mal an, ihr seid Vegetarier. Na, ist ja klar. Ein bisschen Wässerchen? Na. Oh, du schön. Komm. Wochentags findet man um den Teich herum ungestörte Plätze, wo man sich besinnen oder mit einem Buch beschäftigen kann. Ach, ihr schön. Schwäne sind von vollendeter Anmut. Viele Dichter haben ihre geheimnisvolle Schönheit besungen. Aber meine Kommunikationsfähigkeit mit ihnen ist stark begrenzt. Ich weiß nicht einmal ihre Namen. Wussten Sie eigentlich, dass Schwäne sich Namen geben? Wie und wann? Das erfahren Sie in diesem Buch.
Thank you.
Das ist die weitere Überraschung, The Noble Whites, nun auch in deutscher Fassung, die edlen Wildtiere. In diesem ungewöhnlichen Band ist vieles zu finden, was man von wild lebenden Tieren nicht wusste oder so noch nie gesehen hat. So berichtet die Autorin und höchste Meisterin Ching darüber, wie sie eine alleinbrütende Schwänin überredet, von ihr Nahrung anzunehmen, damit sie bei Kräften bleibt. Einmal fand die Meisterin eine verirrte Ziege, die von sich erzählte, dass sie schwanger sei. Wie die Meisterin das erfährt? Sie kann mit allen Tieren in einer Universalsprache kommunizieren, ohne Worte. Dieses wunderbare Buch lässt uns staunen und zugleich fühlen, wie tief verwandt wir mit diesen edlen Wesen in Wahrheit sind. Hier in dieser kleinen Parkanlage, mitten in der Großstadt, sieht man viele tierliebende Berliner. Tierliebend auf ihre Art. Aber ihre Liebe ist noch nicht tief genug. Und ohne die erhellende Erkenntnis, dass alle Tiere genauso wie wir Menschen fühlende Wesen sind. Sonst würden sie ja auf der Stelle alle Vegetarier werden. Welch ein Segen wäre das. Für die Tiere, für die Natur und nicht zuletzt für uns Menschen.
So schön Überraschung, so schön gemacht. Vielen Dank, vielen Dank. Oh.
Supreme Master, without further ado, we would like to begin today's seminar. We have some very special guests here today, and they have very great questions for you.
First of all, we will focus on animals as our co-inhabitants. It therefore gives us great pleasure to introduce our first speaker on this topic, Linda Rooslort from the Netherlands. Linda Rooslort is a master integrated energy therapist, angel therapist, kinologic behavior therapist, owner of Bella Vitalis, a spiritually based holistic company. In addition, she is an animal communicator, spiritual messenger, teacher, and a caring mother. Her divine purpose is to enable powerful healing treatments for animals and their caretakers around the world, using our energy, work, and educational services that lead to a vital balance in mind, body, and soul through the loving energy of our angels. Linda's speech today will be Animals, Our Noble Friends, Bring Us Messages and Gifts from Heaven. Ladies and gentlemen, Linda Rooslort.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good
Dear
afternoon.
Supreme Master Ching. As you know, animals are here for a reason. They have a task on this earth. And when they are able to fulfill their task, they are happy and contented. One can compare animals' role with them of humans, following their true divine life purpose. Joy, happiness, great love are what our animal friends have in a natural being, and they are trying to bring those qualities into our lives and into our world. Therefore, I would like to speak of them as friends, as teachers, and as loved ones, and we humans as their caregivers or caretakers. We don't own our animal friends. We are not their bosses nor entitled to rule over them in any way. However, it's necessary that we teach our pets, our animal friends, who are living in our homes, some earth-bounded rules, so we can live together in harmony in this wonderful world we live in.
Yeah.
In the universe, we don't know time. Time is made up by humans. If one looks at a cat who is lying in the garden and enjoying the sun, just take a moment and watch. Let's see what's giving you. Watch, see, and let it come into your feeling, because that feeling is telling you a lesson. And that lesson is enjoy. Enjoy the moment, be in the moment, because that's all there is. Cats are very sensitive. Dogs are more grounded, and gives us a lesson of what unconditional love means. If dogs experience great domination or aggressive behavior from humans, they are still love us. But at that moment their hearts are aching, because what's happening at that moment is just a reflection of how we humans are treating each other. Horses have a special role, just as dolphins, and they are both so magnificent, especially when they are working with children of special needs or with grown-ups who have experienced big trauma in their earlier years, especially during childhood. And they both have a healing gift. For example, horses on a higher level are connect and bring awareness to humans through their aura. So if a horse has got a problem at their left extremities, one needs to take a look at their own left side, their feminine side, and check it out for any emotional blockage. I used to be a lover of riding horses, but my vision has changed during my own spiritual journey, and at this moment I'd like to communicate with horses on a higher level of understanding and enjoying their true nature. Dolphins are also my big love. Dolphins communicate with each other on a very high spiritual level. They don't need words to express themselves. They carry with them great healing gifts and great lessons. And they are little angels swimming in freedom with the capacity of really being in the now and experience great joy and love with everything they touch. And they're also healing the sea life. Whales and dolphins have great wisdom, just like a big library, such as a Library of Congress in Washington, and even bigger. And we can learn from this wisdom. And if humans are able to view dolphins and whales as our memory, as our professors, then we would not harm them anymore.
Correct.
Supreme Master Ching Hai, I could talk for hours about the great messages and lessons our pets and other wildlife are telling and teaching us.
Right. Not hours. You could talk for months and years.
Oh yeah, sure I can, sure I can. If we want a happier and healthier life for ourselves, we must take care and love all our animal friends. We are all connecting and living on the same planet. It's not ours alone, and it's not our property. And if we want to follow our divinity, live from your heart, love yourself, love all human beings and animals alike, and love our planet.
Yeah.
Our planet is our divine temple, so we must take care of it now. Namaste.
Namaste ji. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
How wonderful and how true. Thank you, Mrs. Ruslut.
She knows so much about animals. I am very impressed. Thank you for sharing with us your knowledge. This is rare. Not everybody knows this, and this is rare. Thank you so much for your diamond wisdom. Thank you.
Our next distinguished guest is Luis Perez Garcia, the chairman and spokesperson of Defensa Animal, an organization which focuses primarily on defending animals while promoting veganism as the true way to live righteously. Luis Perez Garcia also works as a tax advisor, and he graduated as an economist at the Faculty of Economic Science in Valencia, Spain. Let's welcome him to talk about veganism as the best way to stop abuse and cruelty to animals, our co-inhabitants on this planet. Ladies and gentlemen, Luis Perez Garcia.
Hola, buenas tardes. Soy Luis Pérez, presidente y portavoz de defensaanimal.org. Defensaanimal.org es una organización abolicionista sin ánimo de lucro que defiende los intereses de todos los animales no humanos sin importar la especie a la que pertenezcan. Tratamos de informar y reeducar a la gente para que deje de ser especista, es decir, para que deje de discriminar a los individuos en función de la especie a la que pertenezca. Ningún animal, humano o no, debe ser discriminado por criterios como la raza, sexo o especie a la que pertenece. En todos los países se educa a los niños y niñas a ser especistas, creándoles un esquema mental con dos categorías, los animales y los humanos, como si los humanos no fuéramos animales. Y se olvida que realmente convivimos en este planeta cientos de miles de millones de animales que pertenecemos a especies diferentes, a razas diferentes, a sexos diferentes, pero que tenemos algo en común que es fundamental, y es que todos los animales tenemos sistema nervioso, por lo que todos los animales disponemos de la capacidad de sentir dolor, placer, etc. Desgraciadamente se nos educa para que creamos que los animales no humanos existen para servir a los humanos y se da un valor a sus vidas en función de la utilidad que se pueda obtener de ellos. Del mismo modo que una educación sexista crea un pensamiento erróneo e injusto de que las mujeres existen para servir a los hombres, la educación especista nos hace que pensemos que los animales no humanos nacen para que nos los comamos, para que hagamos zapatos, cinturones o bolsos con sus pieles arrancadas. Se nos educa para que pensemos que nacen para experimentar en ellos, o para transportar mercancías o a humanos encima de ellos. Se nos educa para que pensemos que existen para divertirnos en espectáculos de circo, en festejos populares, o visitándolos en las cárceles de animales no humanos conocidas como zoológicos o acuarios. Desde defensaanimal.org tratamos por todos los medios de que la gente se dé cuenta de que ningún animal, humano o no, ha nacido para servir a nadie y que todos los animales queremos vivir y disfrutar de nuestras vidas en libertad. Por ello decimos que por justicia todos y todas debemos ser veganos y veganas, es decir, debemos dejar de usar a los demás animales en cualquier aspecto de nuestras vidas, por lo que debemos alimentarnos sin incluir en nuestra dieta ingredientes de origen animal. Mucha gente cree que es suficiente con ser vegetariano y cree que no hay nada de malo en consumir leche, queso, huevos o miel. Pero no saben que el consumo de derivados es incluso peor porque supone prolongar la agonía y explotación de las hembras no humanas. Olvidan que por el capricho de saborear un vaso de leche o un trozo de queso, están pidiendo que priven de libertad a una vaca, que la inseminen para embarazarla contra su voluntad, que aparten al bebé al nacer y le roben la leche a la madre. ¿Y qué pasa con el bebé de la vaca? Pues que lo encierran durante unos 4 meses en una zona donde no le dejarán casi moverse para que no fortalezca la musculatura. Y tras ese periodo de tiempo, lo llevarán al matadero para asesinarlo, trocearlo y venderlo como carne de ternera, que son los músculos y tendones de bebé de vaca. Mientras la vaca no da leche, sino que se la roban hasta que le queda poca y vuelven a embarazarla contra su voluntad, asesinando al nuevo hijo que nazca. Este proceso lo repiten 4 o 5 veces, de tal modo que si las vacas podrían vivir unos 25 años en libertad, la industria láctea las asesina a los 5 o 6 años cuando no es rentable seguir explotándolas, llevándolas a los mataderos donde llevaron a sus hijos para vender al peso sus cadáveres troceados. Y no olvidemos que las gallinas tampoco dan huevos, sino que se los roban, y consideran a las hembras como máquinas de producir huevos, de modo que son asesinadas y troceadas cuando no es rentable seguir explotándolas. El veganismo también implica que debemos utilizar ropa y complementos que no incluyan cuero, lana, seda o plumas, ya que la lana implica privar de libertad a las ovejas, inseminarlas contra su voluntad y asesinarlas para vender como carne sus cadáveres troceados cuando ya no son rentables para robarles el pelo. La seda supone asesinar a millones de gusanos metiéndolos en agua hirviendo. Y las plumas son arrancadas a individuos que en la mayoría de los casos están aún vivos. Además, debemos utilizar productos que no hayan sido testados o experimentados en animales no humanos, sin importar si los individuos utilizados son primates o ratones. Y en definitiva, debemos rechazar los productos, servicios o espectáculos que utilicen animales no humanos. Defensaanimal.org es una asociación abolicionista porque da voz y representa a las víctimas no humanas. Y por ello no apoya ni pide reformas o regulaciones en el uso de los no humanos. Si fuéramos las víctimas, nunca pediríamos que nos ampliaran las celdas o que nos esclavizaran de otro modo, ni pediríamos que nos asesinaran de un modo menos doloroso en los mataderos, piscifactorías o barcos pesqueros. Estamos en un momento histórico, similar al que se vivió en la época de la esclavitud de humanos de raza negra. En aquella época había gente bienintencionada que pidió un mejor trato para los esclavos, que no les pegaran, que tuvieran un lugar adecuado para dormir, etc. Pero afortunadamente hubo otra gente que fue a la raíz del problema y pidió la abolición de la esclavitud. Actualmente hay cada vez más gente bienintencionada que pide medidas y reformas bienestaristas para que traten mejor a los animales no humanos en las granjas, mataderos, laboratorios, etc. Pero en nombre de ellos no hay que pedir un mejor trato, sino la abolición de las granjas, mataderos, barcos pesqueros, experimentación animal, etc. Debemos pedir la abolición de todas las actividades especistas, es decir, de aquellas actividades que no se harían si los individuos utilizados pertenecieran, por ejemplo, a la especie humana. Hay gente que afortunadamente pide la abolición de los asesinatos de toros en las plazas de toros o de focas en Canadá, pero que dice que somos radicales al pedir, por ejemplo, la abolición de los mataderos. Ante lo que le respondemos que es totalmente injusto pedir la abolición de los asesinatos de toros o focas y no pedir lo mismo para las vacas, cerdos, atunes o ratones. Todos los animales merecemos la misma consideración y no es justo pedir más respeto para unos que para otros. Lo importante no es cómo, dónde, ni por qué privan de libertad, esclavizan o asesinan a alguien, ni debe ser importante la especie a la que pertenezca el individuo privado de libertad, esclavizado o asesinado. Desde defensaanimal.org promovemos el veganismo y el fin del especismo por varios medios, mediante webs informativas, conferencias, cursos de cocina vegana, videoforums, un programa de radio mensual llamado El Rincón Vegano, una sección de cocina vegana en televisión, una revista semestral online, mesas informativas en la calle, performance y actos de protesta pacífica y de concienciación en lugares muy transitados de grandes ciudades. En defensaanimal.org trabajamos día a día para conseguir un mundo más justo para todos y todas, donde no se discrimine a nadie en función de la especie a que pertenezca. Muchas gracias por su amable atención. Gracias.
Thank you so much, Mr. Garcia.
Thank you indeed. Thank you. Thank you. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible how we behave as humans. It's unimaginable. The more we do research into all these animals' treatment, the more we cannot imagine how we as a human race behaving in such a way. My God. Oh my God. We must change fast. We can't live like this, we can't. We just can't go on like this. It's just... It's just killing our heart.
Our next guest, whom we are most grateful to have with us, is Mr. Jacek Bożek, the founder and president and leader of Club Gaia in Poland, director of Gaia Club in the UK, and president of Club Gaia in the Netherlands. A social entrepreneur by occupation, he was one of the leaders of the Zieloni 2004 party, the Green Party in Poland. He kindly accepted our invitation at short notice, and so, having travelled far to be with us to celebrate the book launch of The Dogs in My Life in the Polish language, let us give a deserving welcome to Mr. Jacek Bożek.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for the invitation to be with you here today to speak. I would like to congratulate Master Ching on publishing Dogs in My Life. I am particularly happy about the Polish edition, which gives Polish people the opportunity, and my friends of course, to enjoy this beautiful book as well. Together, as humankind, we face unparalleled challenges relating to our way of life, as well as to our exploitation of the environment and the animals living on our planet. I am most encouraged that the good-willed people are doing their best job to improve the life of animals and to prevent further destruction of Mother Earth. I am native Poland and I founded the Gaia Club, which was the underground at the time movement due to the country's social, political situation. The Gaia Club main goals to protect the environment and animal rights. For over 20 years, the organization has been actively educated and intervening to defend these values. We have organized and lead many social campaigns, and in our campaigns we use unconventional methods and many forms of artistic expression. We try to help people, animals, and nature directly. We teach and give examples of how our consumer choices not only contribute to climate changes, but can also directly impact the diminution and disappearance of biodiversity, as well as how our choices can have an immediate influence on the well-being of animals. Personally, I believe that our attitude and preferences have a huge impact on the economics, forces, and market decisions. That is why, in my opinion, one of the most important courses of action today is to educate and provide open access to this essential information which will help our world citizen in making conscious and wise choices in their life. I am filled with hope for the future when I see people and organizations whose work fulfills this mission and help others to understand the interconnected fate of animals, nature, and ourselves. Dziękuję bardzo. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Boziek. Supreme Master, as we conclude this session on animals, would you like to comment on what has been covered, including the work of their guests, their organizations in protecting our co-inhabitants?
I thank all people for coming, joining us today to widen our knowledge and that of the publics about how we should treat our beautiful, innocent, beneficial animals, and how we should stop all this beyond imagination cruelty to our beautiful friends, the co-inhabitants. I can't really speak much. I'm just so choked with emotion. Even though I know some of the cruel treatment to animals, but it seems to be no end to the suffering and agony that we, the strong and intelligent and capable humans, are inflicting upon the defenseless, weak, and very pure creature of God. I just beg all the people, please, don't do it anymore. Please find some other thing to do, some other job to earn your food, to earn your living. Please wash the blood from your hand. Please. No matter how much money we have, we can't live with this conscience. We can't sleep with this. We can't eat the blood of other beings, and knowing that they suffer so much. How can we do this? Please, just stop all this. There are many jobs to do. Even if we have to die, don't inflict suffering upon others just to earn a few meals a day. That's really not worth your dignity and your status as the crown of the creation of God. It is a very joyful occasion today, and I'm supposed to be very happy, and I'm supposed to tell you happy things, but I just am sorry I can't. Anyway, thank you, all of you, the speakers, for widening our knowledge about how we should uphold our dignity as a human and protect our compassionate nature. Because no matter how you torture the animals, they would die only once. Just like us, we would die only once, no matter how we die. It's just how we live our life, and how we will answer. In the kingdom of God, when we face the creator of all these beautiful beings that we are blessed to live with, you don't have to believe that animals can communicate. You don't have to believe that animals have feeling. You don't have to believe that they bless us. You don't have to believe that they are beneficial. But just look into their eyes. Just see how weak they are, how meek they are. Just see how innocent they are. Just see how defenseless they are. Then you can tell yourself that this is not right to torture them in any way at all, with any excuses at all. We have to protect them, even at the cost of our lives. But we didn't have to even sacrifice any life to protect them. We have to protect them because otherwise we cannot face ourselves. We cannot do this. We have conscience, we have heart. We cannot just kill something just because it looks different. I don't know how to express it, but we just can't do it. We just cannot do this. And expect blessing, happiness, longevity, and all the blessings from heaven in return. We have to create heaven. Otherwise, we don't have it. That's all I can say. We have to protect others. Otherwise, we cannot expect protection. We must live as an honorable, dignified, worthy being that call humans the crown of the creation. We cannot do this. Even animals, we call them animals. They don't do this to each other, except one or two wild beasts, we call them. If we call them wild beasts, what do we call ourselves? Even the wild beasts, they don't torture their victim like this. They only have to kill when they're hungry. They had no choice. We have a lot of choice. We have a lot of choice to survive. Please, just stop this. Just stop doing this. You will be sorry the day you die if you don't stop this. I promise you, you will be very, very sorry. I promise you. I'm telling you with all the honor that I have in my life, that if you don't stop killing or torturing the animals, you will be very sorry. You will be in a place that you wish you have never been born. Please stop it. Thank you. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you, Master. We are very moved.
Some of the benefits of a vegetarian diet: lowers blood pressure, lowers cholesterol levels, reduces type 2 diabetes, prevents stroke conditions, reverses atherosclerosis, reduces heart disease risk 50%, reduces heart surgery risk 80%, prevents many forms of cancer, Stronger immune system increases life expectancy up to 15 years. Higher IQ saves 70% of the total cost of $40 trillion for reducing global warming. Uses 4.5 times less land to grow food. Conserves up to 70% clean water. Saves 80% of the cleared Amazonian rainforest from animal grazing. A solution for world hunger. Free up 3.4 billion hectares of land. Free up 760 million tons of grain every year. Half the world's grain supply. Consumes 1/3 fossil fuels of those used for meat production. Reduces pollution from untreated animal waste. Maintains cleaner air. Saves 4.5 tons of emissions per U.S. household per year. Stop 80% of global warming. Plus more.
Thanks to our guests for their insightful and interesting contribution to this first session. Ladies and gentlemen, let's listen to some heartfelt poetry written by Supreme Master Ching Hai and recited by our association member. Supreme Master Ching Hai has written many exquisite poems in her youth until after her enlightenment. They depict the journey of a great saint experiencing human life through love, sorrow, and happiness to eventually realize the bliss of enlightenment and the sacrifice and hardship of sentient beings, especially our animal friends. Please enjoy the recital of Words of the Piglet.
The day I met you first was the day of my birth. Pink and round, me oh so plump. With Mom I gaily frolicked. Lovingly you looked at me, praising, "Oh, so round, what a cutie." Every day you came by to visit, bringing cool water and delicious veggie treats. Mommy and I were so touched. Your kindness worth more than gold. I lived a peaceful life under your care and protection, growing more plump with each passing day. Just eat, rest, and play. So lovely was this early morn, as clouds were drifting across the sky. Cuddling together, Mommy and I, unaware of the befalling tragedy. Two brawny young men, strong like tigers and elephants, squashed my tiny body flat into a cage of horror. There was no way to escape. Oh God, what purgatory was this? I wailed in fear and terror. Mom, oh Mom, please save me. Oh, caretaker, please come protect me quickly. Rescue my life. I'm still at a tender age. Mom was crying out in sorrow, tears of desperation filling her eyes. The immense heavens cannot contain this horrendous emotional pain. My caretaker turned away, hands busy counting a stack of money. Helplessly, I rolled around in the car trunk, breaking heart more painful than bodily misery. The two young men bantered. This piglet will be so tasty. Tomorrow we'll slaughter him to celebrate the birth of the wife's newborn baby. Oh, how ironic this life. My soul is shattered. Tears flow in my heart like blood running in rivulets. I thought you loved me, nurturing me to maturity, but all this was a sham. For you, it's just profit and gain. Tomorrow, my body will be cut to pieces, my flesh and bones turned to sheer torture, just so people can laugh in merriment at their happy feast and gathering. To your children, and others too, I wish them all long lives, so the family can stay together, not endure the same fate as mine. I pray the whole family lives nobly, to be human in many lifetimes and never be reborn as pigs paying forever karmic debts. Hellas, goodbye life. I ache for my gentle, suffering mother. In tears I am overcome. Oh, Mommy, Mom, Mom.
That was so touching. A very moving performance of a heartfelt poem. Ladies and gentlemen, and worldwide viewers, we now present Vegetarianism, the Noble Way of Living, the next part of today's seminar. It is now our great pleasure to introduce Mrs. Polina Maranova. As the coordinator of the Vegetarian Society of Bulgaria in Sofia, her work includes organizing events and meetings for the purpose of spreading the vegan and ecological message. Mrs. Maranova's efforts also extend to campaigning for the proper implementation of the law with regards to the rights of vegetarians and vegans in Bulgaria, such as in hospitals and schools. Today, her message is, we need to spread the message of veganism throughout the world. We would like to welcome Mrs. Maranova.
Good afternoon, everyone. In a few words, I'd like first to introduce you the Vegetarian Society of Bulgaria that I have the honor to represent here today. 5 years ago, a group of friends, all of us vegetarians and now vegans, decided to launch a website. The major purpose of the site was to get the online community acquainted with the advantages of vegetarian and vegan lifestyle, which is also an inevitable spiritual and physical necessity for both man and nature. With time, we succeeded in attracting supporters, both vegetarians and vegans who expressed their willingness to help us establish such a vegetarian society. We also organized an internet forum where members of our society and guests of our website have the opportunity to exchange ideas, solve problems, launch initiatives, and provide feedback on them. We began to gather publications, articles, studies, analyses, and other materials about vegetarianism and veganism. I'm happy to share you that this year things have definitely been improving. An increasingly greater number of people are vegetarian and embracing the vegetarian diet, and an ever increasing number of people have begun to make the connection between stock breeding, environmental problems, and their own health. We now have coordinators in the 4 biggest Bulgarian cities and towns, where monthly meetings of members of our society are held and various initiatives and actions are implemented. The interest of the media in our activities has grown as well. We have given interviews for the Bulgarian national radio, for different newspapers, and for various national television channels. Currently, we are in a process of getting registered as a non-profit, non-governmental organization. Our efforts will be mainly channeled to the amendments of the relevant legislation in the Republic of Bulgaria. I conceived the idea about registering a non-governmental organization and the need for legislative amendments, having repeatedly faced the choice of eating meat or going hungry. In this regard, my human rights have been infringed on numerous occasions. A year ago, I had to stay for a while in a hospital for giving birth, and all the meals offered there were actually meat dishes. I had informed the hospital staff that I was vegan in advance and asked if vegan dishes could be provided for me. The reply as I received from them was that for my sake alone, they could not make any changes. Exactly the same things happens with our vegetarian and vegan children who have no possibility of choice at the kindergartens they attend. The situation is almost the same at the school canteens where, okay, if there is a vegetarian or vegan dishes, the dish looks quite unattractive. And there's no end on such examples there and elsewhere. All this makes vegetarians and vegans in Bulgaria discriminated people. I consulted attorneys at law who are experienced in the area of human rights protection. They told me that human rights law is on our side, and we should seriously consider filing a possible lawsuit against the state. They also indicated the possibility of launching some legislative initiatives for the purpose of securing the equal rights of vegetarians and vegans and protecting their equitable access to their normal nutritional regimen. In accordance with the text of the Article 6 of the Bulgarian Constitution, all people are born free and equal as far as their dignity and rights are concerned. Besides, all citizens are equal before the law. No limitation of rights or privileges is admissible on the grounds of race, nationality, ethnically, gender, origin, family backgrounds, religion, education, convictions, political affiliation, personal and social or material status. Following this line of thought, the right of quite a sizable part of Bulgarian people are systematically infringed, simply because the virtue of their convictions or religious denominations, they have become vegetarian and vegans. It's absolutely imperative that Parliament pass a law stating that all hospitals, kindergartens, creches, all schools and prisons, in short, all public institutions where catering is provided, shall have vegetarian and vegan meals on offer. This will be a huge significance for vegan and vegetarian children, who for this very reason are currently unable even to attend any kindergarten. If children are given the choice to pick up a vegan menu, this will inevitably improve their health status as well. Every fifth child in Bulgaria suffers from being overweight, and the connections between meat, obesity, and cardiovascular diseases have been established for a long time now. Unfortunately, Bulgaria is lagging behind other Western countries in terms of rights protection. Whether we speak on the rights of the animals or the rights of humans, vegetarians and vegans, Bulgaria has not yet passed any legislation which incriminates cruelty to animals, which is why our future efforts will also be focused on this direction. What is positive is that the future lies on our own hand, and we have come to see the fruits of our effort. It's not only people and animals who stand to gain from these efforts, it's rather the entire planet that stands to gain if our efforts are crowned with success. This is the reason why we would like to establish contacts with international vegetarian and vegan organizations and societies worldwide, so that together we can build a better future founded on love, non-violence, and compassion for all forms of life. Thank you.
Thanks. This was a powerful message that will surely reverberate around the world. Thank you, Mrs. Marinova.
Thank you.
For your speech and your inspirational leadership.
Thank you.
Next, we will hear from Mr. Lubomir Stoyanov, a nutritional scientist, student of bioinformatics, and member of the Bulgarian Vegetarian Society. Mr. Stoyanov's speech is on the advantages of a vegan diet from a medical perspective. Ladies and gentlemen, and viewers, Lubomir Stoyanov.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm Lubomir Stoyanov from the Bulgarian Vegetarian Society, and I've studied nutrition science in Germany. The Bulgarian Vegetarian Society's purpose is to introduce the advantages of the vegetarian way of living to the society as an inescapable spiritual and physical need of humankind and nature. Vegetarian vegan diets are becoming more mainstream now, and the number of vegetarians and vegans in the United States and in Europe is expected to increase over the next decade. There is also a growth in medical interest in vegan nutrition. The number of articles in the scientific literature related to the veg topic has increased more than 7 times over the last 40 years. When a person makes the veg pledge by making the healthy and compassionate decision to be vegan, they sometimes say that they are vegan for life. The phrase has 2 meanings. In addition to looking forward to the lifelong enjoyment of the nutritious and natural vegan diet, they also know that their choice will not only save the lives of animals, but also their own. As an almost vegan myself, I am able to state from first-hand experience that a well-planned, plant-based diet gives much greater health and energy levels, as well as enabling me to avoid the health harms of a meat diet. The American Dietetic Association, which is the world's largest organization of nutrition and food professionals, stated that a healthy veg diet, appropriate for all ages, can ensure lower blood cholesterol levels, reduced blood pressure, lower rates of hypertension, and more. The UK Cabinet Office Strategy Unit documented that 70,000 premature deaths in the UK could be prevented annually by the vegan diet. The European Prospective Investigation into Cancer and Nutrition found that greater consumption of vegetables and fruit increases the probability of being cancer-free. Similarly, the World Cancer Research Fund has recently called for complete avoidance of all processed meats to avoid cancer. The World Health Organization states that premature deaths could be avoided through healthy ways of living and through a healthy vegetable-rich diet, and the American Diabetes Association is highlighting the fact that vegetarian diets protect against the risk of type 2 diabetes. Many such reports have been summarized by a worldwide satellite and online channel broadcasting the Climate Solution 24/7 on Supreme Master Television, which is Sky Channel 835 in Europe. With live online streaming and downloadable shows at www.suprememastertv.com, one can get all the information as well as keeping up to date with all the most recent developments in climate change, climate sciences, green issues, vegetarianism, positive way of living, and so on. This channel has to be the #1 hub for climate change information and effective climate action, and everything thereby associated. Note that this channel is broadcast with many simultaneous subtitles, so everyone can watch in their own language. The following clip is one example of Supreme Master TV's informative announcements, which presents some of the health truths of the meat and milk diet.
Some of the diseases related to meat consumption and/or production: rabies, anthrax, sleeping sickness, Q fever, norovirus, swine flu, Ebola reston virus. Cured meats and fish increase leukemia risk in children. Antibiotic-resistant superbug infections from a strain of Staphylococcus aureus. Blue tongue disease, E. coli, salmonella. Bird flu, mad cow disease or Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, 90% of the population at risk. Pig's disease or PMWS, listeriosis, shellfish poisoning, preeclampsia, Campylobacter, Clostridium difficile, diseases hidden in healthy appearing livestock. Some of the costs of meat eating. Infertility. Eating just one serving of meat per day increases the risk of women's infertility by 32%, with additional meat consumption increasing the risk. Heart disease. Over 17 million lives lost globally each year. Cost of cardiovascular disease is at least $1 trillion a year. Cancer. Increased childhood cancers and adult reproductive cancers from hormones in meat. Colon rectal cancer. Over 1 million new colon cancer patients diagnosed each year, more than 600,000 colon cancer-related mortalities annually. In the United States alone, colon cancer treatment costs about $6.5 billion. Millions of people are newly diagnosed with other meat-related cancers every year.
Diabetes. 246 million people are affected worldwide. An estimated $174 billion spent each year on treatment in just the United States. Obesity. Worldwide, 1.6 billion adults are overweight, with 400 million more who are obese. Costs $93 billion each year for medical expenses in the United States alone. At least 2.6 million people die annually from problems related to being overweight or obese. Environmental. Uses up to 70% of clean water. Pollutes most of the water bodies. Deforests the lungs of the earth. Uses up to 43% of the world's cereal. Uses up to 85% of the world's soy. Causes world hunger and wars. 80% cause of global warming. Plus more.
Some of the costs of milk consumption: cowpox from milking cows, bacterial microbes, pesticides and enzymes found in cheese derived from the inner stomach linings of other animals. Up to 80% of the calories in cheese are from pure fat. Breast, prostate and testicular cancer from hormones present in milk. Hysteria and Crohn's disease. Hormones and saturated fat leads to osteoporosis, obesity, diabetes and heart disease. Linked to higher incidences of multiple sclerosis, classified as a major allergen, lactose intolerance. Plus more.
For more urgent information, please visit www.suprememastertv.com/killers. For help quitting, please visit.
So be sure to tune in to learn more about we should being vegan for life, among many other things which can uplift our lives as well as the life of the planet. So check out Supreme Master TV on Sky 835. Check out the vegetarian diet. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Stoyanov, for your very informative speech.
Thank you.
We are further honoured today to have the founder and deputy director of CSVV, or Czech Vegetarian Society, Mr. Jaroslav Skvarjil. With us also Mr. Skvajil, we believe you have 2 questions for Supreme Master Ching Hai.
Yes.
Za členy naší společnosti bych se rád zeptal mistryně na 2 otázky. Setkal jsem se jednak s názorem Světové zemědělské organizace, která říká, že je nutno snížit spotřebu masa na polovinu, aby jenom se dosáhlo toho, že se dále nebude zhoršovat současná situace, ekologická situace na planetě. To byl rok 2006. Není to přehnané, toto tvrzení? A jak vidíte vy tu současnou situaci dnes? A druhá otázka. V současné době, že vnímáme, že narůstá nebo zhoršování současné klimatické situace a vidíme, že i narůstá ekonomická krize, ale také, že narůstá mravní krize. Existuje nějaká souvislost mezi těmito krizemi a současným způsobem lidské výživy?
Hello, sir. Welcome to our meeting, Mr. Scarborough. How are you? I think you're correct that reducing meat production by 50% is a very underestimate, in part because we have waited so long to change. So our time has become too short, in fact, and the situation is too dire. Just in case you are not aware, or maybe others viewers are not, I will share with you some of the facts of where we are today. With melting that has caused the biggest ice loss ever known in the Arctic, scientists now tell us that the region is warming at a rate twice as fast as the rest of the world. As you may already know, 2 German ships has just traveled through the Northeast Passage because the ice all melted, and that is the first time in known human history that the ships could pass through. So the vast ice beneath Greenland is also melting, even faster than previously predicted. Many researchers are saying that at the rate of current warming, there is almost no way for our world to stay within the limits of a 2 degrees Celsius temperature rise, which is the maximum that will still ensure the safety of most life on the planet. But even though our predicament is very grave, we do still have time if we act now. And the solution is still very simple. Well, you know it, right? It's the vegan diet. No animal products. No more killing, no more torturing, no more even experimenting with animals. No more raising animals for meat or any other purposes except to protect, love, and take care of the animals. This is the key. If everyone switches to this beneficial lifestyle, our planet will be cooled in no time. Scientifically speaking, and my promise. One reason for this is that the main contribution gas from livestock, which is methane, traps 72 times more heat than CO2 over a 20-year period. And then there is the other gases, nitrous oxide, for example, which comes from the unregulated waste contamination and fertilizer runoff of crops that are primarily grown for livestock to consume. This gas trapped 289 times more heat than CO2, more than carbon dioxide. According to the most recent figures from scientists, livestock raising is actually responsible for more than 50% of global warming. More than 50% is coming from meat and dairy production. Imagine that. So with 55 billion animals currently being murdered every year for meat consumption, you can imagine how much the earth would be restored if this is stopped. The original United Nations report in 2006, Livestock Long Shadow, spoke in bold terms even already about the damage caused by the livestock industry, saying that it is one of the top most significant contributors to the most serious environmental problems at every scale, from local to global. Furthermore, I would mention a few of the problems the United Nations and others have noted are coming from livestock raising and meat consumption. First, depleted land and forest. According to the United Nations, livestock is the main reason for deforestation and the loss of our vital trees, which in turn is causing tragic declines in natural biodiversity. Livestock raising is also among the top factors in degrading our lands through soil erosion and pollution, as well as climate change. Second, wasted resources. For every kilogram of animal protein produced, livestock are fed about 6 kilograms of plant protein. The US livestock population currently consumes more than 7 times as much grain as the entire American population. Third, wasted water. With current droughts and water shortages already affecting millions and only expected to get worse and worse, scientists have found that each person eating a meat and dairy-based diet uses around 4,500 gallons of water per day, compared to 300 gallons per day for a vegan diet. This also means that 1 pound of animal protein requires 100 times more water to produce than 1 pound of grain protein. Over the course of a year, the vegan diet saves approximately 1.5 million gallons of water per person. Fourth, wasted energy. Now, the artificial indoor environment of the factory, farm, and slaughterhouse use massive amounts of energy. In fact, it takes 8 times as much fossil fuel to produce animal products as to produce plant food. Fifth, environmental contamination. The United Nations has also recognized livestock as inflicting some of the biggest damage to our dwindling water supplies. Just to give you an idea of the scale, one dairy farm alone with 2,500 cows produces as much solid waste as a city with over 400,000 residents. This waste, which sometimes contains bacterial contaminants such as E. coli, ends up in waterways that affect drinking water and aquatic life. Along with the waste are chemical fertilizers runoff used on crops fed to animals, which have been documented by scientists to cause dead zones in the ocean as well as toxic algae outbreak. You know those green moss that grow in the water. One such event just occurred in Brittany, France, where a majority of the country's livestock and a third of the dairy farms are located. On the Brittany coast, this waste and chemical runoff coming into the sea causes outbreaks of toxic algae, which emit the lethal, deadly gas hydrogen sulfide. So recently in the news, we heard of a horse that died within half a minute of stepping into the algae. And now the health concerns of over 300 people are being investigated for the same reason around that area. Making all of this worse is the fact that animal waste is largely unregulated, meaning that there is nothing to stop these events of contamination that can cause illnesses or even death for massive numbers of animals and people. Just talking about financial saving alone, scientists in the Netherlands found that of the estimated 40 trillion needed to stop global warming, a full 80% of this amount would be saved with a vegan diet. That's a saving of 32 trillion for the simple step of turning away from the meat to eating plant-based goods. According to a recent announcement by the United Nations, the number of people going hungry across the world in 2009, this year, has now officially exceeded 1 billion. This is due in part to the steeply rising food costs that are part of our global economic crisis. However, this is directly related to meat consumption. Because if all the grains fed to livestock animals were grown for human consumption instead, then the amounts of food harvested for humans would be higher and prices lower. Logically, no? Moreover, the global warming caused by livestock has resulted in many instances of documented extreme weather and drought, leading to devastating crop losses and also drive food prices sky high. So if everyone turns to the plant-based diet, we have more food immediately and an easing of conditions like drought and flooding, with abundant harvest and food supplies quickly restored. In fact, the head of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, Mr. Yves de Boer, already stated in June 2008 that the best solution would be for us all to become vegetarians. He meant vegans. Because vegetarians mean people still eat milk and related dairy products. That means we still have to keep a large amount, maybe less large, but still a large amount of cattle. And that will contribute to global warming and further food crisis and security. Another reason to stop livestock raising is the horror of disease linked to eating meat. There are many bacterial infections that come from eating meat, some of which are deadly. And then there is cholesterol, which originated only from animal products and has been linked to stroke, heart disease, obesity, and so on. Another meat-related disease is cancer. Scientists have documented a rise in cancer rates with increased meat consumption. And the more meat we have, the more cancer risk there is. And certain cancers like colon cancer have been directly linked to eating meat, with one study on red and processed meat finding a 50% higher chance of contracting cancer with meat consumption. Another research conducted in your home country, Mr. Scavaril, stated that the life expectancy of the Czech people, your country people, had actually gone down in recent years from 10th to 22nd place among 27 European Union nations. Why? The report said that this was due in part to environmental problems that included disease-contaminated meat. This is so sad, Mr. Scavril. The beautiful Czech people deserve so much more from their life, as do all the animals and all the beings in this world. You mentioned also the moral crisis of our world and wonder if there is any connection to our food choices? You can guess the answer to that, right? Yes, there is, sir, there is. This is the other reason we must become vegan. We have to stop the cruelty, the inhumane and below human standard treatment of all the animals that come here to bless our world with their uniqueness and love. I mentioned before that 55 billion animals are murdered every year, legally, for consumption. This is not even counting the billions of fish. Can we imagine? There is no bigger moral crisis than the one that is created by the massacring of sweet, innocent living beings for our pleasure, when we have other choices. Such mass murder is a crime of global proportions, and this killing energy, in turn, breeds and strengthens other negative energy, which is degrading our society and destroying our world. So, to return ourselves and our world to a more pure state, one where all beings can feel safe, protected, and loved, and where all humans walk the dignified way of the children of God. We have to stop the killing of innocent animals. Stop it now. Stop it now. And turn to the merciful way of life, the natural way of life that God intended us to live, which is the vegan diet. This will restore the conscience of every person who adopts such a lifestyle, as well as the planet itself. If the conscience is clear, we have no more moral crisis. So, we have peace, we have harmony, we will have abundance. So please, Mr. Scavril, join in this peace and planet building purpose. If you need any information at all, or any materials, we are very happy to help through SupremeMasterTelevision.com. Everything on our TV or website are free to download and share with as many people as possible. We still have a lot of work to do, sir, and not much time. Thank you for your very present and thoughtful question. I wish you and the Czech people all the best. God bless. Thank you.
Děkuji.
Thank you, Master. Our next theme will be Save Our Planet, Everybody Can Do It. Just before we begin, we conclude vegetarianism, the noble way of living, by enjoying some traditional Chinese pipa music. A piece entitled Yizu Wu Chu, which means Dance of the Yi People. This piece describes the spirit of the folk tradition with the human community and Mother Nature coming together in harmony.
Thank you. 谢谢，谢谢。好棒。
Remarkable. What an enriching and soul-resonating performance. Thank you so much. 谢谢. Our first VIP to speak on Save Our Planet, Everybody Can Do It, is Dr. Astrid Sieglinde Kaplan. Dr. Kaplan acquired a PhD in psychology and is an animal rights author and artist. She is employed as a psychologist by Volkshilfe Salzburg and Evangelisches Diakoniewerk Gallneukirchen, associations providing alternative kinds of social services, such as for senior citizens and people with physical and learning disabilities. Astrid is also a puppeteer for children's puppet theatre called Sindri. In addition, she is author of 2 books, Die Mensch-Tier-Beziehung, eine irrationale Angelegenheit, which in English, the relationship of humans and animals, an irrational issue. And solange es Schlachthäuser gibt, wird es Schlachtfelder geben. Or in English, as long as there are slaughterhouses, there will be battlefields, which investigates the relationship between violence towards animals and towards humans, and is soon to be published in German. It is our great honor to welcome Dr. Astrid Kaplan.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very pleased to be here and to talk about a subject which is so dear to me. My presentation is about our power in everyday life. Everyone, including all of us here, have an influence every day on the life of our planet. Each one of us has individual power and strength to shape our environment, as well as the way we treat our fellow human beings and our co-inhabitants. If we become aware of this personal power, we can voluntarily decide to contribute to peace or to violence. We have the opportunity to contribute to peace or violence in every situation in our daily lives. For example, in our interactions with our fellow humans, including children, our partners, friends, colleagues, parents, and people we do not know, our interactions with our animals, our pets, so-called farm animals, animals in laboratories and in the wild, through our food choices, whether they be vegetarian, vegan, or meat, through our transportation, and the way we spend our free time. Imagine for a moment how each one of you in your daily lives consciously chooses to make decisions in so many situations that lead to peace. Altogether, there are millions of us who are generating peace and can save our planet, if we consciously choose. I would now like to talk a bit more about 3 of the above areas in our daily lives: treatment of our fellow humans, our animals, and our food choices. For people and animals to experience peace, the meaning of compassion is essential. To implement compassion means to feel the unhappiness of others just as we experience all other feelings such as joy, fear, happiness, and pain. Compassion is the counterforce to cruelty. It appears to be the only counterforce to cruel, violent behavior. To practice compassion means most of all to stop harming other beings. We begin with people and animals that are near to us. For example, we stop feeling distrust towards our neighbors, colleagues, friends, and supervisors. We stop our competitive elbowing behavior in general and cease devaluing other people and give no grounds to harassment. Furthermore, for example, we do not acquire any animals if we cannot care for their needs, and we do not submit any animal to active or passive violence. In this way, our fellow humans and animals will receive peace from us. We can also develop our compassion by doing good things to others, people and animals, and thus spread joy. True compassion is not limited to certain life forms. On the contrary, it encompasses people of all races and all animals as well. Teaching compassion. Children should be raised from the earliest years to have compassion for all beings, because only then real compassion fundamentally can prevent violence. To do this, a child need only know that other creatures exist and that they are capable of suffering just as we are. Children who have learned to be fair, friendly, and loving towards animals will also treat other children and adults in a more fair, friendly, and attentive manner. Experts agree that children and adolescents who harm or kill have never learned compassion or the ability to put oneself in someone else's shoes and to empathize with another's feelings. If we are lacking in compassion, it becomes easy to reduce animals or people and to objectify them as things without emotions. We feel more compassion towards those beings that are closer to us, less the more distant they are. Because children, by their very nature, identify with animals, and because animals are living beings just as we are, through our relationship to animals, we can teach children how we should treat other people. When we demonstrate to children our friendliness and compassion towards animals and teach them to respect even the smallest creature, they learn to appreciate and respect one another. Especially parents and instructors, because of the examples they are providing, they have an enormous responsibility. Therefore, parents and instructors definitely should go to extra length to teach children compassion to all living creatures. Another important point in contributing to peace or violence in our daily lives are our food choices. If we eat meat, we are exerting passive violence, as usually we allow others to kill for us. Yes, around the world, billions of animals are killed for meat. This generates immeasurable suffering. Furthermore, for psychological and moral reasons, eating meat poses a constant danger to our fellow human beings. About this, I have written in my book in more detail, with the title, as you already said, as long there are slaughterhouses, there will be battlefields. In brief, I will say here the following. Regarding to animals, there is a moral vacuum which is accepted by society at large. This moral vacuum facilitates the psychological desensitization towards suffering. In addition, and I say it again, this moral vacuum also provides the danger that we place any being to a space outside of our morality, be it animal or human, that we would like to enslave, exploit, or kill. In this space outside of our morality reigns the principle of might makes right, or the law of the jungle. The manner in which people and animals become victims of violence depends on their unique economic and socio-political situation. As long as there is a moral vacuum for animals, this poses an enormous constant threat to humans and animals. Because just as ethics is not divisible, neither is violence divisible. That is why the only true solution for securing non-violence and peace lies in converting the moral vacuum in our psyche into a space of compassion. Certainly, this is one of the most important and difficult tasks of humanity, of our entire evolution. Nonetheless, each one of us can immediately choose to take decisive steps in this direction. For example, being a vegetarian or vegan. If we follow a vegan or vegetarian diet, this has an extremely positive effect on our animals, our fellow humans, and the environment. Global warming is to a great extent the result of the meat industry. And did you know that livestock have a greater impact on global warming than do all forms of transportation put together? I quote Dr. Pachauri, chair of the UN Council on Climate Change, who says, "Please eat less meat. Meat is a very CO2-intensive product." This is what he said. Vegetarianism and veganism are an expression of a peacefully implemented antidote towards environmental destruction and killing. I would like to appeal to you to reflect on the choices you make in your daily lives. Be conscious what options you take in various situations that contribute to peace and joy in your living on this wonderful planet. After all, if you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change. Together, we can heal the world. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kaplan, for your very insightful speech.